Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Y&E podcast. And if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, share, and engage us in the comment section. So we're talking about a post that's gone viral on Nigeria X Space, and it's about the donation that Tom Polo gave to the Delta State Security Fund in the sum of 10 billion naira. If you didn't hear that properly, 10 billion naira. And that is almost like $7 million. That's a lot of money. And I understand he's been in the business of securing Nigeria's pipeline. He's been in the business of making sure that the Nigeria economy doesn't come to a halt, especially in that region when all we focus on is crude oil and things like that. So having that amount of money is ridiculous. If you're not playing any sport, if you're not into any businesses, and you're just in security business, and that's a ridiculous amount of money. Before you can donate that amount of money, you must have had, I believe, maybe times 10 or times 100 or times that 1,000 of that. So I know you're from that region. So what do you think about this news? Is it a surprise to you, or do you think it's just a chicken change in his pocket?
I mean, for some people, it will be a surprise. Some, this is not a surprise because literally those guys are swimming in money because the kind of deals, the kind of contract they have with the government. I mean, only God knows how much is involved. Because let's not forget that during Buhari's time, he was awarded the contract to secure the pipeline. And that is in several billions of naira. So donating 10 billion out of it is probably nothing compared to even how much he's getting from the state as well, because that contract is from the federal and he will probably be getting some kickback, basically to keep his boys or to keep people, from vandalizing the pipeline from the state as well. If you really take all of that into account, you see that those people are swimming in money. And to some people, like I said, this is not a surprise. And to some other people, maybe people from other parts of the country, yeah, it will be as a surprise. They will probably be asking, what is it doing? How did he come up with that huge amount of money? And even the oil companies as well will probably be, sorting him out again, like Shell, Chevron, all of those people to make sure that they keep production going. They have uninterrupted production. You did be surprised, even your military as well. The Nigerian army is also sorting him up. So those people, they get funds from everywhere. And then don't forget also, they could be involved in bunkering as well, selling, crude oil out. Basically, they live in the water, so they can do all the activities in the water, and then even Nigerian government will not know. For me, it did not surprise me because I've been hearing about this guy ever since I was in secondary school. So it's not a surprise to me.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. For people like me, it's definitely a surprise. It's definitely a shocker when you're area of billionaires in Nigeria. You don't hear names like that. You hear Dangote, you hear the Cosmos, you hear the Otedolas, the owner of the UBA Bank, and you hear all those names like that. And maybe because his business is not in the public, maybe that's why we don't know much about him. But for a man of his stature, well, I think he's done very well for himself. And I remember maybe a few months ago, FCC allegedly accused him of spraying money, or money was being spread in his party. A lot of people were tagging the FCC to try to go arrest Tampolo or invite him for questioning. Well, we saw that kind of died down and nothing really happened. So that tells you that it probably has its own army of men that are ready to fight for him, ready to secure him, and it's just crazy. It's basically an army inside of a country.
Yeah, I mean, all men are not born equal. Some are some are bigger than others, and like you said, he has people that will go to war for him. And the reason why we don't hear about him, maybe on Forbes list, is because those people, their money cannot be traced to any legitimate business. They're basically feeding off of the government. In fact, do you honestly think that Dangote is the richest man in Africa? They're probably looking at businesses like a business owners and stuff like that. But if you really want to look very well. You did be surprised that Dangote is not more wealthy than Obasanjo or more wealthy than Tinubu himself. So it's just that some of those people, they cannot really prove their wealth because they are not really known to be business people, but they have the money. You did be surprised that today Tinubu still gets some kickback from Lagos State. You know, those people, they probably get fractions from state budgets and stuff like that. So when they talk about like fourth list and stuff like that, I think they're only talking about people in businesses that they can trace their wealth. But otherwise, I think there is a whole, in fact, even Dangote said it himself. I think it was some weeks back that he is probably not the most wealthy person in Nigeria. That there are a lot of people sitting on raw cash, on a lot of liquid cash in Nigeria that have the money, but they refuse to build a refinery. Basically, he was talking about people trying to sabotage his refinery. That he felt like he was doing Nigeria a favor to build his refinery. That he is not the richest person. That there are a lot of people sitting on the amount of money that he spent on building that refinery, and they have refused to do it. So I think there are a lot of people that are more wealthy than than that guy. Like for Tompolo, yeah, he has a whole lot of army. Though those contract, when they award those contract, I don't think he pockets all the money. I think they make sure they settle other people. They'll probably have a smaller groups and subgroups and stuff like that that they will need to settle again. But yeah, those people are getting money. For anybody that is surprised, for most people they are not surprised, but I know for a lot of people they are surprised. And if you go to that riverine corridor, yeah, there are a whole lot of them like that.
Yeah, it looks like he's a chief security officer in that area, and he probably has a ton of army, maybe in local communities that would definitely defend him, defend his interests, because they know when he makes money, he probably shares the money in the community. And yeah, with all this resources and all this wealth in that part of the country, I don't think anybody from that area should be poor. What do you think? Do you think the money in that area, in that region, is being managed appropriately, or are people still in poverty on that side of the country?
Definitely, a lot of people are in poverty. Yeah, if you go to like the villages, like when I was in Warri, we used to go to like Jedo. Those villages, a lot of them don't have drinking water. A lot of them live basically in the river, like on the island and the river. Life is not very rosy in that corridor. Just that the money is getting in the hands of few. It gets into the hands of like Tompolo, Asari Dokubo, then they share with with their boys. They probably end up giving peanuts to the commoners, but otherwise there is poverty in that area. A lot of those places don't even have light. I remember when I was in Warri, we used to ration light. 2 days off, one day, I think 2 days on, one day off. We used to ration light, and I think the only exception is in Bonny Island. Bonny Island, I think they said for in almost 30 years, they have never been power outage in Bonny Island. But otherwise, around that area, most of them they ration light. In fact, the tenants or the people that live in that area, when the transformer has a problem, they are the one that will contribute money to buy the transformer and stuff like that. But along that corridor, there is a whole lot of money along that corridor. I think the federal government should be looking for a way to get the money to the people, to not just handing people cash, to put infrastructures in place to empower. In fact, when Wike had an interview, I think it was about a month ago, 2 months ago, when he said that he alleged that Amechi's wife, former governor of Rivers State, was being paid 4 billion naira every month to train the Niger Delta youth on a skill acquisition, like to tell you that there's a whole lot of money in that area. And that's just for one person. There is a whole lot of, I think there are almost two governors, two former governors in Rivers State, plus outside the Wike and Amechi, there is a Pito Dili. I think there's the one that was governor before Pito Dili, or Pito Dili was the first one. So imagine what those people are getting. Just Amechi's wife was getting 4 billion every month for the contract. So there's a whole lot of money, but just that the money is not trickling down. That is the problem of that area.
Yeah, I would imagine all those states combined, even maybe Delta State on its own, probably has more money than Lagos State will ever dream of. But it's still interesting that that area is still not well developed compared to Lagos. And if they're getting that much money, I don't think it'll take much to develop that area, to make the area livable for people, to have drinking water, good roads, and good education, and people can feel like a proper Nigerian benefiting from the resources and from their lands. But it's unfortunate that they're not really managing the resources over there properly. I mean, I have no doubt that they have more money than Lagos. Do you think that's accurate?
Yeah, I think Delta State gets the most they get the highest this thing federal allocation compared to every other state. In fact, I think they are number one, number two. I think is River State, and number three, I think is actually Akwa Ibom State. So most states along that corridor, they get a lot of federal allocation. The only problem, in fact, even your Senate president was I think, NDDC chairman. He still has a case to answer after probably his office. If he eventually does not become the president, he still has a case to answer. He embezzled several billions of naira from that agency.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
And
Ibori.
Tinubu will pardon him. Don't worry.
Ibori was convicted in London for almost the same reason. When he was a governor of Delta State, he embezzled that. He's a convict, so he's not alleged. He's a convict. His boy Ayeri made a lot of money during Ibori's time. All of his money was from during Ibori's time as governor. So the money it doesn't just trickle down. That's the problem of that area. But I don't think that. In fact, our immediate past governor was alleged to have stolen 1.4 trillion. That was why he crossed over to APC. So all of those guys, they are thieves, allegedly. For some of them, they have not been convicted. But I think they should look for a political will to put infrastructures down. Oftentimes what they do, they want to employ people into the state government, give people state government job. I don't think that is what the area needs. I think the area needs like companies, bring companies, production companies, employ people have meaningful employment, and so that they will be able to fend for themselves. But otherwise, what they do is employ people into local government, employ people into state government, just to keep body and soul together. And for them, they are empowering people. But I don't think that's the empowerment, and that's what the people do. Yeah, let us know what you think about the 10 billion naira that Tom Polo donated to Delta State. Do you have concern? Do you feel some type of way about the donation? Let us know in the comment section, and we'll be happy to engage with you. Thank you for your support.